This is a great recipe for toddlers, and it's sticky beef skewers, which are so easy to make. You can use any meat for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to make up the marinade, and that's where you get lots of flavour going into whatever meat you decide to use. We're using some whole grain mustard. We have some Worcester sauce, and I particularly like this when I'm cooking any kind of meat. We have some honey, and if we're going to get it nice and sweet, so I'm using a nice Irish honey in this. 1 large clove of garlic, just peeled and chopped. You can crush it if you want to. And then we have some vinegar going in, and it's a balsamic vinegar. So you have sweet, sour, sticky. That's the kind of things you should be thinking when you're doing a nice sticky beef skewer like this. And then a dark soy sauce, and this is a low salt soy sauce. So mix this all together. So you're combining the honey, it's just a little bit sticky. I'm using some sirloin steak, and I'm going to cut this into long, thin strips. We're going to trim off any excess fat, and then just simply cut through the piece of meat. So this is what you're looking for, a long little strip of that, and that's going to go into the marinade like that. And this is the one that we've marinated for about nearly 5 hours at this stage. So it's long, thin strips, as you can see this here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them onto skewers. Now you can cook them as they are, but there's great fun in this, but you have to be careful because they are quite dangerous. So we just simply get our beef and we just insert the skewer in here. So it really depends on the thickness that you cut this, how quick they'll cook, and because these are very thin, they'll cook extremely quick. We're going to just have a nice griddle pan, which I've already preheated, and that's the secret. So you're going to hear a nice little bit of a sizzle. As soon as it hits that, it begins to sizzle, and it'll immediately begin to cook. There's no need really to put oil onto that. And because the skewers, you can just lift them up and you begin to caramelise. Now watch your fingers when you're doing this, but you're grabbing the bamboo skewer. In goes the marinade. Turn down the pan. And then we are just going to simply baste this. So what this means is we're going to turn up the pan again, and we're going to turn it over and caramelise this. They take a couple of minutes to actually cook through. I have another very interesting tapas here, which is just potatoes and parsnip brought to the boil, cooked with some spring onion, and they're like a little potato and parsnip potato cake. They are so tasty. Turn your skewers and it will begin to really reduce, and that's where you get the name sticky beef skewers. Now, I'm going to turn them off because it was so thinly cut, it's going to cook really fast. So I also have another tapas, and you can have this as a little starter as a main course, and it's like a roasted pepper. So it's a half a pepper roasted in the oven. Underneath that, there's a vine tomato, a little bit of feta cheese, and then all I have in that is a little drizzle of oil. We're going to serve up our skewers, and they look so sticky and delicious. That's what makes this recipe really, really tasty. And then what I like to do is just put this centre of the table, put this of course in a cooler rack so that no one touches it, and then everyone can help themselves, and I think that's what toddlers want. So that's my sticky beef skewers, the roasted red peppers with the feta cheese, and then we have our potato and parsnip potato cakes.
I love this idea of toddler tapas. It's just making meal times a little bit more fun, a bit more crack, and it's a great way to get the whole family, you know, together and at the dinner table and engaged. And you know, put all these at the centre of the table. Allow your toddler to, you know, pick themselves what they want, and they know their own appetite, so they'll stop eating when they're full, or they'll, you know, continue to eat if they're still hungry. So the sticky beef skewers, really good source of iron again, and you use lovely lean meat there, so really good for your toddler's brain development. And then you have lovely colourful peppers there, and the potato cakes as well. Really, really good. And that's the lovely sauce that you have there with the beef skewers. What is it?
Yeah, it's just a mayonnaise with some crushed garlic and some chopped chives. I think it works really well with the beef skewers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a feast for the eyes, so I hope you enjoy this recipe, and that's our tapas for toddlers.